Tonight, a homicide victim's son on the stand. What Warren Outred told the court about his father and the woman accused of killing him. Wilmot water decision.
Colleagues, that motion is carried.
Regional Council ditches a decades-old limit on drawing from the township.
I personally do not agree with the interpretation that the 1980 Council policy needs to be rescinded.
To help ease a capacity crunch. Plus, Miller's time.
On Monday, Miller reached his one-year anniversary in shelter.
The search to find a family.
And it is time for him to find his forever home.
For a unique dog. Good evening. We begin in Brantford, where a standoff with a man wanted by police for a stabbing brought a heavy police presence to a supportive housing unit today. A nearby elementary school was put in hold and secure, and people were asked to avoid the area while police negotiated with the man for about an hour and a half. CTV's Krista Simpson is here tonight with all of the details. Krista.
Well, Tony, it was an alarming scene for people who live in the neighborhood as police descended on the area starting around 11 this morning.
One cop after another started showing up and pulling around the corner, and I know that this building here, they have a lot of problems and a lot of stuff always happens. Fire trucks show up like on a daily basis. But then today, when there's so many showing up, I was like, something big's going on.
This was the scene on Marlene Avenue. Brantford Police patrol officers, the emergency response unit, canine unit, and crisis negotiators all brought in to respond. Police say they had located a man wanted for a stabbing that happened on Saturday. They say in that incident, a 50-year-old man was stabbed multiple times and left with serious injuries at a home in the Dalhousie and Brock Streets area. Yesterday, they released a photo of the person they were looking for, 41-year-old Thomas Dean Kane. Police calling him a risk to public safety and someone who should not be approached if spotted. Brantford police say he was found today at the Marlene Avenue residence but would not surrender. Police say after about an hour and a half of negotiations, Kane was arrested safely. He's now facing a number of charges, including aggravated assault and assault with a weapon. The neighborhood where Kane was arrested is only a few streets away from the intersection where a man was fatally shot on Easter Sunday. These incidents leaving those who live in the area rattled.
It's kind of scary when, you live here for a long time. You deal with, riffraff, they walk by, they're kind of harmless, but I mean, you just deal with it. But when something big like this goes on, you worry about your safety, right? So that's my main concern. You don't know how bad it could ever get.
Brantford police say Kane is being held for a bail hearing, and they are thanking the public for avoiding the area while officers did their work. Tony.
All right, quite a situation today. Krista, thank you. CTV's Krista Simpson with those details for us. Also in Brantford today, new testimony at a murder trial. The son of the victim, Gordon Outred, told the court about money and gambling issues between his father and his stepmother, Elfgard, who stands accused in this case. CTV's Jeff Pickle reports.
In his testimony, Warren Outred described his father as more than just a parent. He said the two were business partners and neighbors living on the same property and farmed together and spoke together every single day. Warren described his father's marriage to Elfgard as one that lacked real warmth and connection and said there was conflicts caused by money issues and trips to the casino. The Crown alleges in November of 2022, then 79-year-old Elfgard Outred killed her husband of 30 years with a hammer. They say an argument over money and Elfgard's gambling was the source of the confrontation. Today, Gordon's son, Warren Outred, told the court about the Outred's sixth-generation family farm and how many of the Outred family live on or near the farm. According to Warren, prior to his father's death, Gordon became concerned about his finances. Warren says approximately 6 months before the alleged crime, he saw Elfgard's orange Jeep at the Brantford casino. He says he told his father, who reportedly told his wife, if you go back to the casino, pack your bags and go live there. Then, the week of Gordon's death, Warren says he saw Elfgard's Jeep at the casino again. Warren says he advised his father he should check his bank statements, to which his father replied, "What bank statements? We don't get those." Warren told his father the bank statements were mailed to the house and told Gordon if there are a few $1,000s missing, you might have a problem. Warren testified the conversation happened 2 days before his father was killed. On cross-examination, the defense asked Warren about his police interview where he said whoever dies first, the other gets the farm in relation to their business partnership. The defense also asking if Warren witnessed his father check his bank statements or speak to Elfgard about the situation, which Warren replied, no. Next, the jury heard from an OPP detective who compiled video footage of Elfgard's orange Jeep driving from the farm to the Brantford casino on the day Gordon was killed. A big part of the Crown's case is focused on what they call Elfgard's gambling addiction, saying that it caused stress and conflict in the marriage. The trial is set to resume tomorrow and is expected to go into next week. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Brantford.
Okay, let's take a first look at the weather now as we join Ashley Bacon here in studio with all of our Wednesday details. You know, I was doing the scan around home before I left this morning, wondering, what do I bring? What do I wear? Brought the scarf.
Yes.
Because it felt like it would be the kind of day where you might need it. And then I was boiling by the time I got through my walk with the scarf on.
That makes sense, Tony, because the temperature actually didn't reach its peak today until later in the afternoon. So this morning it was cooler. I wouldn't say cold, but it was cooler and a little bit deceiving because it was so bright and sunny out. So I think you had the right idea. Layers is really key this week because, as we've seen, it can be really cold in the mornings, but as we pick up in the afternoon, things are feeling more and more as they should for this time of year. As we take a look at our radar, we can see there's not a lot going on in the way of cloud cover or precipitation at this stage. Now, we are expecting a little bit of cloud cover to start moving in the next couple of hours. We will see some rain tomorrow afternoon, but for the next at least 12 hours or so, things are looking pretty clear. Right now, sitting at 9 degrees, so very warm, light southeasterly wind at 22 kilometers an hour. And the good news is not a lot when it comes to wind chill. It's only feeling around 6. So essentially, Tony, things are looking better and better as the week goes on.
I like the sounds of that. All right, Ash, thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. A new decision today on Waterloo Region's water capacity problem. Regional councillors have just agreed to get rid of a decades-old limit on how much water can be drawn from Wilmot to supply the system. CTV's Heather Senerin has more.
And we are voting on rescinding the 1980 agreement on water taking from Wilmot.
By a vote of 8 to 5, Regional Council has agreed to get rid of a decades-old limit on how much water can be drawn from Wilmot.
Colleagues, that motion is carried.
It's the latest move to try to secure more supply for the region's future growth. Some argued it was long overdue.
So I think we're maintaining a policy that is completely outdated.
While others, like Wilmot's mayor, didn't think it was necessary.
I personally do not agree with the interpretation that the 1980 council policy needs to be rescinded or removed in any capacity to allow for this flow of 30 litres per second.
The region has paused development while it looks for ways to boost the water supply after announcing only months ago it wouldn't have enough for future growth in Kitchener, Waterloo, parts of Cambridge and the townships. Wilmot officials had urged the region to consider local impacts.
Really, what I was looking for is a balanced approach to enabling development right away, build a bridge, essentially solution, while we further investigate the very legitimate concerns that people have raised in the community, and then reassess all of this with the new water supply strategy that is supposed to be a strategy for the entire integrated system.
Regional staff will be required to provide updates to the public every month on how much water is being drawn from the township and the impact on aquifers and private wells. A larger strategy to deal with the water capacity problem is expected to be completed next year. Heather Senerin, CTV News Kitchener.
And we should note the region provided us with a statement late today saying that even with the amount of water they're looking to reallocate from Wilmot, enough capacity remains in Wilmot for future and current growth. Well, agencies that help newcomers settle into Canada say they're being asked to do more with a lot less. Another round of federal funding cuts for that sector has services in Waterloo Region feeling the pinch. CTV's Spencer Turcott reports.
Translation is just one of the many services offered to immigrants at the Kitchener-Waterloo Multicultural Centre.
Orientation, referrals to services, one-on-one English language learning program, employment supports.
But the centre anticipates some big changes trying to keep up with demand as the federal government cuts funding for newcomer services for the second year in a row.
And we will see further cuts right up until the end of 2028.
Here's why. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada tells CTV News in an email the 2026-2028 Immigration Levels Plan is focused on a return to sustainable immigration and a shift to more economic immigrants who tend to use settlement services less intensively. And despite reduced immigration numbers, the Multicultural Centre says demand won't drop for a couple of years, meaning they'll still have a long wait list just with fewer staff to help.
People see us in their first, second, third, fourth year here.
But starting this month, immigrants selected based on their ability to contribute to the economy will have shorter periods in which to access settlement services. They'll now have a 6-year window as permanent residents to access those services, and a year from now, that window will shrink to 5 years. Local organizations say recent government cuts have already created gaps.
We lost 4 positions last year. This year, we've had to lay off 3 people, and there was another position that had recently been vacated that we are not going to fill. That's 8 positions over the 2 years.
And now funding for newcomer services outside of Quebec is being slashed by more than $98 million for the 2026-2027 fiscal year, something that Reception House Waterloo Region CEO says puts real pressure on their programs.
Settlement services are not optional. They're essential infrastructure. And when the funding is reduced, newcomers face longer wait times, fewer supports, or delayed access to housing, employment, health navigation.
Without access to timely services, he suggests immigrants are more likely to fall into crisis and rely on other costly emergency supports.
That's not only difficult for newcomers, but also far more expensive for the government and communities.
Creating a further sense of divide, both organizations fear, because newcomers may take longer to find that sense of belonging. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News Kitchener.
Well, the federal Liberals are one step closer to a majority government, with another Conservative crossing over. Longtime Ontario MP Marilyn Gladu becomes the 4th Conservative and the 5th MP to join Mark Carney's government. The shocking move comes ahead of Monday's 3 key by-elections. CTV's Graham Richardson reports.
Because of Marilyn Gladu, a Conservative MP.
Here's Marilyn Gladu as a Conservative back in 2023.
Our leader has been supportive of this bill all the way along. I want to thank him for that.
It is a great pleasure.
Cut to today.
I'm very happy to be the newest member of our new Liberal government.
A partisan defection that enrages Conservatives as the Prime Minister casts it as a country coming together to his side.
This all comes at a time when the country as a whole is uniting to move forward, and it's important that over there we unite to move forward as well.
Pierre Poilievre tweeted, Gladu said that floor crossers should face voters in a by-election. I could not agree more. As recently as January, she told her local paper, we elected you under this banner, and if you don't want to be under that banner, then we deserve a chance to have a redo of the election. Sarnia is a border town that's known for oil refineries and some manufacturing connected to the auto sector. Some constituents here are not happy.
We thought absolutely no way would she cross. So now I'm wondering, why did she cross? What did Carney give her? And explain it to your constituents.
Most Conservatives felt that way today, that Gladu would be the last to make a move like this.
Look at her social media feed. Up until just hours ago, she was trashing and attacking the Liberal government of which she's now proudly a part. This is very cynical and it's very odd.
But the red clothing at the photo op and broad smiles right inside the Prime Minister's office, another body blow to Tories. So is this over? Don't bet on it. The party is about to start for Liberals. Their convention in Montreal begins tomorrow. So far, there have been no floor crossers from the province of Quebec, despite rumors swirling around this place for months. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, the White House is declaring victory after Donald Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire in the war with Iran. It comes after the U.S. president threatened to destroy the country if Tehran didn't open a critical shipping route. CTV's Joy Malbin reports.
John, On the streets of Tehran, they chant death to America as the U.S. Secretary of War declared victory over Iran.
President Trump forged this moment. Iran begged for this ceasefire, and we all know it.
This 2-week truce looking shaky at best. Iran is still holding up hundreds of oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, effectively controlling global oil production in the Gulf.
The Iranian response is we're going to control it and put a toll on everybody. And there's no ceasefire. Literally within the past hour, Saudi Arabia has reported that its pipeline, which goes from the Gulf to the Red Sea, has been hit by a drone.
Blocking the strait, says Iran, is retaliation for Israel's continued attacks on Lebanon. Israel insists the ceasefire doesn't include their war against Iranian-backed Hezbollah. The fresh violence threatening to scuttle Washington's fragile truce.
And I will reiterate the president's expectation and demand that the Strait of Hormuz is reopened immediately, quickly, and safely.
President Donald Trump, who threatened to annihilate Iran just yesterday and back down, called this a big day for world peace, posting, "The U.S. will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through regime change. There will be no enrichment of uranium."
So right now it's buried and we're watching it. We know exactly what they have. They'll give it to us voluntarily. We'll get it. We'll take it. We'll take it out.
Leaving many politicians wondering what this war was all about.
We have lost 13 American service members, hundreds of American service members wounded, thousands of people, innocent civilians throughout the region killed, prices going up, the American taxpayers paying $2 billion a day, and all for nothing.
The White House says Vice President J.D. Vance will lead in-person peace talks with Iran. The regime prefers him because of his past skepticism about Middle East wars. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
A big dig that's bringing more big changes. Coming up, CTV's Karis Map tells us how the next phase of a major project in Paris will mean a shift for getting around and for being ready for emergencies.
Well, we're expecting to wake up to a warm, sunny day tomorrow, but don't let that sun fool you. You're going to want to keep an umbrella handy. Rain is also on the way. Those details with your full weather forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
The case may be cold, but never forgotten.
The big hope is that she's found.
A Brantford woman vanishes on her way to work in 1983. Unsolved 519 begins Thursday at 6 on CTV News.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Road construction crews were back out in Paris this morning, picking up a massive reconstruction project. CTV's Karis Map tells us how this new phase of work will affect not only traffic, but planning for emergency responders.
Fences are up and road closures in place, marking the start of phase 2 of the downtown dig in Paris.
This phase is, we're just going to continue and finish off where we started last year.
Continuing to accommodate growth in the city and address aging underground infrastructure. This second phase now focusing on a different section of Grand River Street North.
We're going to replace all of the hydro, the water main, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, all the sidewalk, the boulevard area, everything's going to be updated.
In the meantime, people will have to deal with a new set of road closures.
The road itself is closed from Mechanic to William completely, no access for any vehicles. From William up to Charlotte Street, it's local access only.
But some residents say they're not happy about the inconvenience this construction has caused 2 years in a row.
I think it's a nightmare.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree to that too.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's a nightmare.
Everyday drivers aren't the only ones having to navigate this new phase of construction, so are emergency services, with Brant Fire implementing some temporary operational changes. One change is that the fire response has been reorganized into 2 areas, Paris North and South.
We did work internally with GIS and our dispatching services to create 2 separate zones, which normally wasn't in the past. So those have been implemented, and yeah, we're ready to go.
To be properly equipped in the north end, trucks are also being stored at the Paris Fairgrounds.
We have a pumper truck and a tanker truck up there, and we have also maintained emergency apparatus in Paris South, which is a pumper, a tanker, an aerial, and a light rescue.
With the department made up of mostly volunteer firefighters, the chief is also reminding drivers to be on the lookout for flashing green lights in car windshields.
It's asking for a courtesy for you to safely pull over and allow them to get to the station quicker, because they are responding from their places of employment, their home.
Phase 2 of the Big Dig is set to wrap up this fall, with the final phase next year. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Paris.
A Huron County-based professor believes some new research he played a role in could pave the way for entirely personalized medical care for Canadians. CTV's Scott Miller has that story.
Chapin Korosek has been busy trying to figure out if using an individual's genetic profile can really improve decisions for the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of disease. It's called personalized medicine, and he believes it is within reach for Canadians.
I think individualized care, high-quality individualized care would be the gold standard of a really strong healthcare system. I think it would be a fantastic outcome, and it's possible. It's possible for us to get there.
Korosek, a well-known expert in infectious disease modeling and a University of Guelph professor, was part of a York University-led research team that used machine learning to understand how vaccines mount an immune response through time, looking at differences between people who have HIV and receive vaccines and those that don't have HIV. 48 weeks of analyzed blood, saliva, and white blood cell samples help provide the data to show the potential benefits of personalized vaccination regimes instead of mass vaccinations that impact people differently.
In normal life, when we have COVID and the flu and RSV and maybe measles floating around society, we have an individualized care opportunity so that we can all be optimally vaccinated and go into our clinics and have an optimal continuity of care sort of algorithm that governs our individualized health care.
Privacy and cost are the main stumbling blocks to incorporating this kind of personalized care into Canada's public health system, believes Korosek.
There are elements of artificial intelligence that also frighten me, but there are also extreme positives that could really allow humanity to benefit. And one of them is a disruptive service in the healthcare sector. Like, we can truly individualize healthcare and have sort of a wrapper, an AI wrapper, that is then aiding your family practitioner or doctors actively while they're performing their practice.
Korosek says a lot of the work on this research project was done from his home in Goderich, which serves as his base for life and work.
It's the perfect balance for our family to live in small town Ontario, to raise my family here, to raise my daughter here, and to give her this experience that I had growing up, because it's just a fantastic place to live.
In Goderich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
A live look outside right now at King Street in St. Jacobs, and we have a nice ending to what has been a mostly sunny day today with temperatures that have been on the way up. Ashley's back with our forecast in a few minutes. And later, re-examining whether going electric is worth it at a time of skyrocketing gas prices. Next, though, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen prepares for a special call as he gets closer to home after a historic moon voyage. Well, Ashley's back with our forecast, and something you just said during your weather tease made everything make sense to me, and that is that it ended up getting milder and milder throughout the day. In fact, right up until this hour.
That's right. It's pretty much peaked out around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. So we hit our 9-degree high today at this point, and it was very cool this morning.
To start off, and I think that's kind of what the false flag was
Yes.
we had those really chilly days over the past couple of days.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's better to realize realize you're overdressed, you can remove layers at least.
Yes, and that's the big message I think for this week is layers, layers, layers. Even tomorrow, while temperatures will get a bit warmer, you're definitely going to want to have at least an umbrella handy and maybe a light jacket for that rain.
April still has all kinds of surprises.
It's April, you know, it's fun. Let's take a look back outside tonight. You can get a little idea of what a nice shot. Dave Pettit, our camera operator, bringing us this beautiful picture of Conestoga River from St. Jacobs tonight. Stunning. I mean, it's not even sunset, but just the way the sun is hitting the water there. We're getting a little bit of overcast starting to move through the region, but the good news is we're not expected to see any precipitation until tomorrow afternoon. So if you are headed out through the overnight hours, it is going to be pretty much clear and nice. Not as clear as last night, but still relatively clear. As we take a look at our futurecast here, we are seeing a bit of that cloud cover that we just saw in that live shot moving through the region as we speak. It will clear out a bit, but by tomorrow around noon, that's when we're going to start to see a bit of rain start to fall throughout the region. The good news is it's not expected to last too long. By the time most of us are on our commute home from work in the evening, it'll essentially be tapering off. Now, we aren't completely out of the woods in regards to precipitation. It is April after all, so we will likely see some spotty showers throughout the weekend, but overall conditions not too bad. As we look at what's happening across the country now, it's a very nice sunny day in BC, the lower half of BC, 10 degrees and sun in Vancouver right now. On the other side of the Rockies, 3 in Edmonton with a bit of cloud cover. Through the prairie provinces, -2 in Saskatoon, -1 in Thompson. That sun's still trying to peek its way through. Over in our nation's capital, we're sitting at 6 degrees in Ottawa and a little bit of sunshine, which is quite nice. And then as we move further east, it is -2 in St. John's, -6 in Corner Brook. But, you know, Halifax, sunny day and 4 degrees. That's not a bad way to have a spring day. Here in Waterloo Region, temperatures are starting to come down. Of course, we're getting a little later in night. It's 8 degrees right now, so not too bad. It's not feeling very cold with the wind chill tonight, so we will see a decrease in temperature down to around 1 as our overnight low. A few clouds, as I mentioned, around 20 km/h winds, so not too bad. But tomorrow, it's going to be beautiful. 16 degrees is the expected daytime high. We will have nice, bright, sunny conditions in the morning with that rain moving through around the noon hour. So when you get up in the morning and you see how warm and bright it is, don't let that fool you. Maybe pack an umbrella just in case. Well, UV index is also expected to be high for pretty much the first time this season. So you're going to want to have a little bit of sunscreen or a hat on hand if you're going to spend some time outdoors. Looking back at 1921, we hit a record of 25.6 degrees. So not quite that warm today, but we are on that way. Summer is just around the corner, believe it or not. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, starting in Waterloo Region, Friday temperatures come down back to normal slightly. We might see a mixture of rain and snow as temperatures decrease through the overnight hours, but by Saturday, rebounding to 10 degrees and sunshine. So not a bad way to start your weekend. Lambton, Kent, Essex, you might see a thunderstorm in your afternoon hours tomorrow as the rain rolls through the region. 19 degrees is the expected daytime high. Showers continuing into your Friday, but again, Saturday looking like the highlight day of the weekend with 12 degrees. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, similar there, showers for tomorrow and 10, 5 on Friday, and sunny and 8 for your Saturday. Okay, let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Wendy, who went on a walk on the Mill Race Trail in St. Jacobs earlier this week, and this little chickadee thought her grandson's Nico's head was a good spot for a little break. That's so cute.
It's a very friendly, calm chickadee.
You know, everybody needs to have their Disney moment, and I think this was Nico's Disney moment, and I hope he enjoyed it as much as we did.
Well, it's nice that it was captured on camera, too.
Absolutely.
They'll have that for years to come. Hey, thanks, Ash.
Thank you.
Well, Jeremy Hansen will be taking a break from his duties tonight to receive a special long-distance call. The Canadian astronaut is scheduled to speak with the Prime Minister and Industry Minister Melanie Joly at around 7:30.
Your friends and colleagues at the Canadian Space Agency wish you another great day on your voyage. Canadians everywhere are inspired by your journey, and we're with you every step of the way. Let's go.
I could get used to this daily musical interlude from space. Love this. Hansen and his fellow astronauts began day 8 of their mission with an 11:35 wake-up call that included a message from the Canadian Space Agency. At the time, the crew was about 322,000 kilometers from Earth and 134,000 from the moon. Today, they focused on a number of tests before their return to Earth later this week.
The mission continues to go well as the crew prepares to transition back to Earth and we get ready for entry day. After an exciting day of science on Monday and a day for the crew to recover and then achieve some other flight objectives yesterday, the team is turning our attention to the return and getting the crew safely home.
And there is the crew. The astronauts are scheduled to complete their journey back to Earth Friday at 8:07 p.m. Eastern off the coast of San Diego. And they've been sending back some spectacular photos during this mission. Here's another one. It's a look at our galaxy, the Milky Way, following the crew's historic flight around the moon. It joins a number of other images released by NASA this week, including some showing the moon during the record-setting journey to the far side of our closest celestial neighbor. Will a ceasefire in the Iran war be felt at the gas pumps? Coming up, one of the big questions that's lingering about a conflict that's had a big impact here at home. As the U.S. and Iran agree to a ceasefire, at least for now, many are watching how oil prices will be impacted. And of course, the top question, will the price of gas come down? And when? CTV's Abigail Beeman is looking into that.
With high demand from people who need their help, higher gas prices have made an already tough time even trickier at the Ottawa Food Bank.
When we fill a truck, typically it would cost around $300 to gas up a truck. But now, in the past week alone, we've seen it go to $480, and that didn't even fill a tank.
They call it a balancing act as they try to prioritize nutritious items like fresh fruits and vegetables.
And we know fuel prices come down slower than they go up, and that's really what the short-term impact was.
Oil price watchers say the good news is pump prices should drop as much as 14 cents by Friday.
Depending on where you are in the country, this is going to bring gasoline back to around $1.60 to $1.80.
The Prime Minister says Canada and allies are working towards the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz,
which is important for reestablishing stability and lowering prices in commodities. Of course, price at the pump, even here in Canada.
In the Middle East, a lot of the production was shut down because of the conflict, and you can't just flip a switch and turn it back on.
Getting longer-term pump relief is more complicated, with time needed to rebuild pressure for extraction and damage to Gulf infrastructure, the extent of which is not quite clear.
It could take months, in some cases years, to actually fix some of those assets. That could be partly mitigated by new supply coming from Venezuela.
As for when we could see pre-war prices at the pumps, answers from experts we've spoken with range from not anytime soon to unlikely before 2027. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Okay, back in studio with Krista Simpson and a look at our top stories today. Krista, we begin with the latest on a standoff in Brantford today.
Tony, a man wanted by police for a stabbing that happened on Saturday brought a heavy police presence to a supportive housing building on Marlene Avenue. Police say 41-year-old Thomas Kane had barricaded himself in the residence. A nearby elementary school was put in hold and secure, and people were asked to avoid the area while police negotiated with Kane for about an hour and a half. He was then safely arrested and held for a bail hearing. The second-degree murder trial of Elfgard Outred continued today with the son of the victim taking the stand. The Crown alleges Outred killed her husband, 82-year-old Gordon Outred, with a hammer in November 2022. Today, Gordon's son, Warren, testified about seeing Elfgard's vehicle at the Brantford Casino. He also talked about conversations he had with his father about Elfgard's gambling habits and its impact on their finances.
And Krista, looking at what our digital team is working on over on the website, we've got the latest on Stratford welcoming the swans back to the Avon River.
Yes, the city says 18 of them were brought back this morning after spending the colder months in their winter quarters. Now it's a much quieter return than in years past. No pomp and circumstance this time, just a couple of road closures. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get it on our CTV News app or to download the app right now, or you can visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Give them some space. That was the message. Yeah, a bit of a change to a tradition in the festival city. Krista, thank you. With gas prices sky high, some are wondering if now is the time to switch to an electric vehicle. They're still an expensive option, and some automakers are even pulling plans to build them in Canada. But drivers can find savings in the long term, as we hear from CTV's Heather Wright.
Sam Aldar says the cost of filling up his truck is mind-blowing.
I've been driving in the city for as long as I can remember, and gas prices have never been this high before.
With gas prices across the country at or near record highs, Aldar is among the growing number of people contemplating going electric.
I do think about it a lot.
The EV and Charging Expo in Toronto is all about electrification, from the vehicles themselves to the infrastructure needed to support the shift toward EVs.
We've got really huge and high gas prices right now. And so the cost of electricity, the cost of running an EV is minuscule by comparison.
Nino DeCara is with Electric Autonomy Canada, which organized this trade show. He says while EV sales in Canada fell last year as a number of rebates expired, they rose again in the last quarter of 2025. He predicts the high cost of gas, along with new federal rebates, will nudge new buyers into the EV market, where costs to charge are less volatile.
You don't have these peaks and troughs in your pocket.
According to a study by rates.ca, roughly 30% of Canadians say they are interested in EVs, but the higher purchase cost and charging anxiety remain key barriers to adoption.
So I think part of the reason why adoption rates tend to be higher in Europe is because they have access to affordable electric vehicles.
And while many countries have seen EV sales soar, Canada has not kept pace with its peers. Slow sales and the trade war have led some automakers to pause or scrap EV production in Canada.
The demand that automakers were expecting didn't manifest itself. And so you have seen a lot of automakers make corrections to their manufacturing programs.
Still, industry insiders expect EV sales to pick up. Today, Ottawa announced nearly $11 million for more charging stations across the country, a move aimed at easing at least one of the barriers to EV adoption. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A cross-country celebration for the FIFA World Cup. Just ahead, new details on how soccer fans coast to coast plan to get a little bit of a taste of the action. The countdown's on to the FIFA World Cup, set to arrive in Toronto in June. But celebrations during the tournament will take place right across the country, giving soccer fans from coast to coast a taste of the action. CTV's Raheem Ladani has details.
We are inside Illuminarium Toronto within the Distillery District. The FIFA World Cup kicks off in 64 days. But the party isn't just happening inside the stadium. They're happening across Canada within every community. And that's why we're here. Today, FIFA has launched a new program called Canada Celebrates. Bringing World Cup energy to local communities, a nationwide series of free one-day festivals are traveling across Canada from coast to coast to coast.
There are days where there's 4 matches, so you can really sit down and have your own football festival just for yourself in your community.
The route will make 38 stops across 34 communities, from Whitehorse and Halifax to Kamloops and Niagara Falls. The caravan is being billed as accessible within a 2-hour drive for more than 75% of Canadian residents.
Stoked to see Burlington in there as well, but this is just making sure that the World Cup is a celebration for everybody. And I think about the generation of kids that are going to grow up feeling like soccer and football are Canada's game.
Just like the FIFA World Cup Fan Fest coming to Toronto, this will be an interactive experience. Think giant screens showing the matches, live music and cultural performances, along with food and football activities. A place for thousands of fans to gather and cheer together. One of those neighborhoods includes Mississauga. The festival will be coming to the 905 on Canada Day.
We know from a tourism and economic development standpoint, this is going to be a real positive, a great value add.
The final 2 stops on this tour are happening right here in Ontario, in Niagara Falls and Brampton on July 18th and 19th. Raheem Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
It's going to be a busy time, that's for sure. Okay, now let's check in once again with Ashley.
Well, Tony, it'll be soccer-like weather first thing tomorrow morning, so if you want to get out, do it early because rain is on the way come the afternoon. Just how nice it will be in the morning, I'll have those details after this break. Start your night off with E-Talk at 7, followed by Scrubs at 7:30, then The Floor Season 5 premiere at 8, and cap your night off with Shark Tank at 10.
Tonight, multiple marriages, one husband.
I just needed him out of the house so that my kids and I were safe again.
We'll tell you how many women were deceived and what happened when the truth came out. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, let's head back over and check in with Krista for a look at what our team's working on for CTV News at 11:30. Krista.
Well, Tony, the second round of the OHL playoffs kicks off tonight with the league-leading Brantford Bulldogs hosting the North Bay Battalion in Game 1 of their matchup. The teams faced each other 4 times in the regular season and split the wins, with the home team always walking away victorious. Puck drop is just a few minutes from now at the TD Civic Center, and we will have the highlights at 11:30. Tony.
Okay, we'll see if that trend repeats itself when it comes to home ice. Krista, thank you. It's going to be an exciting night. Asha, round 2 of the OHL playoffs. Yes. So exciting. Bulldogs tonight. Rangers Friday night hosting the Sioux Greyhounds. I know you're going to be live.
I will be there during our shows. So if you happen to be around, come and say hi. And yeah, exciting times for hockey. And I mean, I think all of us kind of want a Bulldogs-Rangers matchup at some point in this playoffs.
We're rooting for it.
That would be awesome.
We're rooting for it. I mean, like, let's keep it in our viewing area, right? Best of the East and best of the West.
You know what's not going to feel like hockey, though?
The weather?
Tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at our wake-up weather board. Look at that. Not bad to wake up at 6 a.m. in April to 5 degrees. Mainly sunny skies around 8. Clouds will start to roll in around 10 because we are expecting some afternoon rain around the lunch hour. So I can't stress it enough. Don't let that beautiful sunshine and temperature deceive you in the morning. Make sure you pack an umbrella with you to bring to school or work.
I like 11 degrees, though.
Not bad. Going up to 16 tomorrow. So
that's decent.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Well, finally for us tonight, a plea from the Humane Society of Kitchener, Waterloo, and Stratford, Perth. They would like to find a home for Miller, a dog who's been in their care now for a little over a year.
And as CTV's Colton Weens explains, despite some interest in the young mixed breed, Miller hasn't been able to find the right fit.
We can hear him. We can now see him. Who do we have behind you?
So this is Miller.
Meet Miller, a 2-year, 6-month-old large breed rescue at the Humane Society of Kitchener, Waterloo, and Stratford, Perth, who's now been in their care for over a year.
On Monday, Miller reached his 1-year anniversary in shelter. This is a pretty unique case for us. Most dogs end up in a home around the 30-day mark on average.
Miller has been here so long, he's seen over 300 dogs come in and leave the shelter since he arrived.
We all kind of love Miller here, and we have it'll be a very exciting day when he does get matched with a forever home.
The Humane Society says there has been people interested in adopting Miller, but he does need the right kind of home and hasn't found that yet.
He is a loud boy, so he does need to be in kind of a single standalone house, no shared walls, those kinds of things. And also he does have a bit of a prey drive, so we want to keep him away from, smaller animals, but he does love other dogs. So he just has a unique set of kind of needs for a good match.
He has a lot of hound characteristics that I think sometimes are an acquired taste. Can be vocal, can be a little bit independent. However, he has, over the year he's been with us, turned into one of the warmest, most funny dogs.
The Humane Society says when a dog spends a lot of time in the shelter environment, it can lead to a decline in behavior or mental well-being, and they eventually may look at moving the animal to a different rescue or organization that can offer something more. But Miller is still young and can thrive in the right environment.
A testament to what a good dog Miller is. He's been doing really well with us, and a lot of that is to do with how well he does with other dogs.
And now, while Miller is located in Kitchener right now, he is open for adoption to anyone across Canada.
The adopters need to sign up for training afterwards, so we would find a trainer, a positive reinforcement trainer in your area for you to work with Miller.
Betliemski says Miller is not a bad boy, he's just had some bad luck, and he's ready for a forever family. Colton Weens, CTV News, Kitchener.
Someone is going to fall in love with Miller after that story.
If I had room, I would.
We both have big hearts when it comes to pets.
Yes.
And we are both pet rescue parents as well.
My boy was in the shelter for well over a year when I adopted him, and I personally didn't want a puppy. I was looking for an older dog.
Okay.
And so it was the right fit, right time, and I'm sure Miller will find his right fit at the right time,
You know, I know he will, because every time we run a story with the Humane Society, any kind of initiative they're doing, or a particular animal who perhaps they're helping nurse back to care or caring for, we always get a tremendous response.
Well, I know our community will rally for Miller, I'm sure, and you know, I can't stress it enough, best decision I've ever made.
It's like I said in the opening of the show, it's Miller's time.
Yeah, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect.
Land?
I think it did land. That's awesome.
They've got animals with so many different stories, and Miller is one that we wanted to make sure we put a spotlight on. So let's hope he finds a home.
I'm sure he will.
In the meantime, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We've got CTV National News at 11, and then Krista Simpson is back here with your next local news at 11:30. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.